Good evening mga kalaro, and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel that talks about a different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I am Chief Bisdak, Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Juxta Potato, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Hi, like Will Smith, I am legend.
You are a legend. This is a legendary episode. And of course, also with us is the man with the thoughts, Martin. Marts, how are you doing?
Well, like you said, I am the man with the thoughts, and right now I have several thoughts. And is several really seven? Will we find that out in this episode?
Yeah,
We
you're
will
right.
be counting.
We will.
We will
Yes,
be
we will
counting.
count. Yes, we will be counting. So yeah, for tonight we are going to talk about the premiere episode of Survivor season 46, entitled "This is where the legends are made." But before that we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can go to wherever you get your podcasts and just search for Council of Titos, and you'll find us there. So, without further ado, let's begin. As always, we start with our highs. Do you guys have any highs about this first episode, guys?
Jolinsky,
The legend.
Really
the
now?
legend himself.
You know how legendary he is. Apparently, from the Mike Bloom interview, his co-players wanted to name the Merge tribe. Okay, Jelinsky. Apparently.
Right.
So
And who
it's been
said that?
told.
Jelinsky said that.
Jelinsky. You gotta trust him. He's the
Mhm.
premier source of all Jelinsky.
Yeah, he's like the trust me bro. He's like the trust me bro
Trust me,
source.
bro.
I
Oh my God.
he's just he is a legendary first boot. I'm going to say, like, not for great gameplay or anything like that, but just because of how delusionally they edited him. You know.
I'm not
Oh.
even sure it's just because of the edit, man.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't know what goes on in the mind of a Jelinsky, right?
It might
It's
be
like
something legendary.
I'm just gonna I'm just you never know. You might have been the one that quit, but I don't know. Apparently
That's
apparently
true.
that's something that Jelinsky said in one of the exit interviews. I don't know. I didn't watch them. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna say that he was edited like that because we really don't know what happened on the island.
Mhm.
But that's how I'm going to quote unquote play it safe when talking about people in a sort of make fun of them kind of way. That's how they were edited.
Mm.
That's how he was edited. So
Yeah, just like how
you know.
Jamie and who was it before? All of those
Poor
other ones.
Jamie. Poor Jamie.
Yeah.
Owen with Charlie Brown edit.
Yeah, I mean, like Jamie apparently was had a lot more agency on the island. So, that was I'm a Jamie truther.
Welcome to the club.
And
She
who's the
was
source of that? Jamie as well.
didn't others say that, like, she got a rough edit? I'm not sure. I seem to remember like one or two other people saying that there was more to her character than sort of that lost sort of puppy that's getting ready to be taken out to the back shed to like a farm in upstate New York.
What do you got? That's very graphic. But yeah, we gotta hop on the Jelinsky train again. I gotta say, we're going as far back as Survivor Philippines, where I find some guy like this first booth as interesting as Jelinsky's, like Zay Knight. I'm getting this Zay Knight vibes of Jelinsky. Like,
Why? Tell us about Zayn Knight.
so the legendary Zay Knight was actually a tribe member of the winner of Survivor Philippines, Denise Stapler. He incredibly quit smoking a few days before he went to the island, so that kind of messed up his cardio.
Just like
He
Hannah in
yeah,
season 45. Yeah.
Reader 45. But instead of going outright quitting, he was saying, "Oh, I might quit." You know, please vote him out, guy. And then he was trying to scramble at the last minute. Like,
Mm.
there's still some fight in him. It's not like how this guy is, like quitting already in the sweat challenge, but you know, just like Zayn, Zelensky is a first boot we will never forget. Like,
Mm.
he's a character. He's something. He's some guy. I think we'll have a lot of fun with talking. I mean, there's even early boot characters like like Jelinski. I think Zach weren't like a couple of seasons ago. I don't know how to
Oh, the
pronounce his
guy who had a
name.
crush on the whom Marianne had a crush on.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
did he? He's the first boot, right? Or second boot? It feels like the first
I
boot.
think he was the first boot, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't remember. All I know is that he's really good at podcasting about Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like he's really
He's
good with his
definitely a
Survivor
super fan.
analysis.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if he's the first guy voted out, I feel like maybe we'll see more of Jelinski post Survivor. Like his post Survivor life is going to be so colorful, and I hope it's going to be awesome. Like we'll have another Zach in Jelinski as well.
Well, he did
I
get
doubt
a
it.
platform. I've been seeing because I'm still on X or Twitter, and for some reason, even though I'm not subscribed to any of them, uh, posts by the current contestants, current castaways, get get on my get on my feed via the algorithm possibly. And from what I've been, well, the one that I've been reading from Zelensky, it's like he's just as touched as he was on the island as he is in real life. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
That would be interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
like very interesting first boot of an episode. But can I talk about not the
Go
elephant
ahead.
in the room, but the big
Mm.
gecko in the room? I had fun seeing that guy in the
Mm.
challenge. Like those
Mm.
three geckos in that immunity challenge was fun. Like, how can they top or how can they make something different after 45 seasons of Survivor? Let's make a big ass gecko. And it just happened.
Hmm.
And I'm just all for that. That's very entertaining to see on TV.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that they've at the very least made a big effort to make the logo a part of the series of the season, right? Because that's one of the big elements of the season 46 logo, the geckos. And I like the fact that it's there. I don't remember if it's in the US version or the Australian version, but there was a snake version of this where they also had to bring it over a sort of wall.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, something like this has been actually done. But I like the fact that it was a gecko. Yeah, it's more thematically in line, right? They made it a gecko.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice to see. I like the immunity challenge. I like the immunity challenge. Yeah, it like, but again, it's the whole. You start out with the physical, and then you end with a puzzle, right? When everyone is already like tired from all the physicality.
Yeah. What's it? In the recent Jeff Probst podcast, he mentioned something about the first couple of challenges on a Survivor season being like some of the most brutal,
Mm-hmm.
as
It's
a
true.
sort of to give the people like a rude awakening, sort of a birthing into the game. Like he talked about mud as
Mm.
being like, sorry if I'm gonna bring up stuff like this again, Marts.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when he mentioned that it was sort of like a birthing into the game and crawling through the mud means like you're in Survivor or whatever. When I was watching those first challenges where they have to crawl under, I'm like, dude, this is a metaphor for childbirth, and all of the
Mm.
mud that they have coming out of them is like island placenta,
Okay.
like
Like that. I like that. Okay.
I like the metaphor.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually,
and like
yeah, and I think that's becoming like a marooning staple for them. That people have to come out of it dirty,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and I like the fact that it's supposed to be a rude awakening for the castaways. Yeah.
Hmm. So you know, uh Jelinski is while not well, not the highest of the high,
Mm.
definitely the high, or definitely a high from me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I mean, I like the challenge, both challenges, the immunity and the marooning. We didn't get a reward challenge this time, because the
Hmm.
reward was the flint and the stuff. No, and they did have the marooning challenge and then the sweat or savvy challenge. At least now it's a sweat or savvy again, right? It's
Yeah.
not a sweat and
Yeah.
savvy thing.
Oof.
What
Uh,
did you guys think of the sweat and savvy like mechanics this time, where they got a pick and the other group uh to got the one that they didn't pick? Like,
yeah,
what do you guys take on it?
I think that it's their adjustment to last season where both teams had to do both sweat and savvy
Mhm.
just so
Mhm.
that either or gets done, right? Because you've been saying that you were saying that in previous seasons, Joe. Like, of course, people are gonna choose just sweat or something like you're savvy because it's easy. You don't get tired as much, right? So this
Mhm.
time, they in order to make sure that either the sweat or the savvy really gets someone attempts it, right? So you do the first the second team to finish will get first pick, and then the losers will uh, get the leftovers. Right.
It is a
So
pretty
Mhm.
I
big
like I like the fact
adjustment.
that that was part of the mechanic this time.
Mhm.
Agreed. Agreed. And I really hope the savvy guys got it, but I guess time ran out.
I liked Savvy. Yeah, well, the sweat was pretty straightforward, so there's nothing really to overly like about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh but the Savvy one, I like the fact that it wasn't that I like the fact that Ben, first of all, saw all the words right away because big ups to his dyslexia. That's what
Mhm.
he credited
Yeah.
it to, right? And I like the fact that if you actually go through the message, you have everything. What was it? Something like everything. You have everything you need
Eight below,
down
something like that,
below,
down below.
and
Yeah.
something about something missing, yada yada yada. And
Mhm.
if you creatively think about the message, you can really think, okay, so what is left behind, right? So
Yeah.
that's where the clue came out, right? Dig under lock. That's where the clue came up. And
Yeah.
yeah, big ups to Survivor Production for thinking of a new kind of puzzle.
Yeah. Actually, that was really clever. It was a really clever
Mm.
puzzle. Uh, and what do you guys think of Sweat and the
Um,
breaking of the hourglass?
Ah, I thought the
I
time was gonna stop.
I
I
still
thought it was gonna become a shillelagh of time
yeah.
You're gonna
all of
go
a
back
sudden.
in time,
Yeah. Oh,
magically turn 4 hours into
and
several.
You mean seven, right?
it's funny. Erica actually posted something about it. She
Oh.
had the picture of the
Oh yeah.
broken hourglass, and she said, uh, "I don't know, but this seems personal. This feels personal, or something like that."
Is this an attack,
Yeah.
Jalinsky?
So
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Jelinsky said in the Mike Bloom interview
Yeah.
that the rocks on the shore were sort of sharp. So
Okay.
he actually
Hmm.
supposedly injured himself while doing the sweat challenge. So his feet were like went as far as saying that they got infected,
Oh.
right? So
Copium.
he got cut probably supposedly while doing the sweat challenge. But then again, you've got Q
Yeah.
breezing through the
Yeah.
challenge.
It was,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
So yeah.
sucks
So
to be
yeah,
Q.
the sweat challenge it was nice. It was the only other sweat challenge that I really well aside from last season where they had to haul all of those logs was the coconuts, right? The
yeah.
coconuts
Yeah.
thing, the coconuts in the net. Yeah. I like the fact that this is new, and then you've got uh exacerbating circumstances with the holes in the bucket. Right? That was pretty cute. That was pretty cool. But if I were to choose between the Savvy or Sweat, which one I like better? I like the Savvy better.
Yeah, me too, actually. And you why did they? Well, I was thinking like, why did Q just start running with the bucket? And it was like eventually they held it like in a funny way to stop the water from dripping out or to stop the water from coming out. Anyway,
Well, I think it was, well, to his credit, I think it was Jelinski who noticed that there were holes in the bucket.
Mm, okay.
they
Legendary
both know.
status.
He is
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
he
was
was
it was Jelinski who had the line like,
legendary.
"Oh God, oh man, there's holes in the bucket." Yeah,
Yeah,
Jelinski is the
yeah,
one who
yeah.
noticed the holes in the bucket, I think. But yeah, yeah. So I guess at first Q thought that he could outrun the water coming out of the bucket and still have enough. But we saw that, right? The first bucket
Yeah.
that he turned over, it was like what, less than a can of Coke or something.
Basically, yeah. And you know, like props to Jelinski for like saying that he couldn't do it. I mean, he should have just like tried, but you know, props to him for saying like this seems impossible and sort of trying to do the math, even though he should have just failed it properly. Because when Q said this is either going to bond us or break us on, that was absolutely spot on.
Mm,
It was if they had finished and failed, they would have been allies to the end.
yeah,
But because you know because Jelinski decided to like peace out like 2 hours in,
Uh,
it kind of broke them or you know pushed them apart. Which again, props to production for giving that as like the story.
yeah. And it became like a narrative throughout the entire episode. Like Q
yeah.
was like always on Jelinski's case.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Hmm.
Zelensky ain't helping himself though, because do we
Yeah.
talk about the island part?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man,
Any of your highs, man. Go with your highs. What are your other highs?
Okay.
Is it a
I
high
like
for you?
well on one end it was a
That's the
high
question. Is it a
because
high for you though?
not really.
Oh, there you
and
go. So
the game itself was really cool.
It was
yeah, the
cool. I
game was
like the
cool.
mechanics.
Yeah,
Yeah, the mechanics
yeah,
of that
Oh
game
yeah.
were like really
It feels
cool.
like they're playing what's that again? A werewolf, like with the cards.
yeah. Werewolf, or one of those things. Yeah,
Yeah, one of those
one of
Yeah,
those
like one of
games.
them social deduction games. Real
Mm.
nice.
Not the card.
Um, and props to who was it? Maria, right? It was
Maria,
Maria, the
Oh
Maria.
voice.
yeah, she was good.
Yeah, props to Maria um for getting Jelinski to come
Focus.
clean. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that it
I
was,
have a I
you know,
have a different set of words to describe what Jelinski did, but yeah, go come clean.
yeah,
That
yeah. For him to tap, for him to fold, I guess, you
Yeah,
know, if
fold.
yeah.
he used
Way too early.
he
He's
used the
he's from
term fold.
Vegas.
So I guess yeah, for to get him to fold, get him for him to be manipulated into giving up a vote in exchange for two of their votes.
Hmm.
He could have said, "All right, coming clean with you. Um, yeah, I have the skull, but please don't tell the other people on your tribe.
Yeah.
And I'm
No,
going to
you
tell the
know,
people."
why? You know why, Joe? Because he's not deceptful.
Yeah.
He's
But yeah,
not
like
deceptful. That's
he,
why.
and it's really you know what's really bad. He's supposedly like a Big Brother fan. I was reading his like
Oh,
pregame
really?
interview. Yeah, he's supposedly a Big Brother fan, and Big Brother fans tend to have like more no, tend to have less of a problem being deceitful than Survivor fans, you
What?
know, right? In terms of being sneaky and stuff. Like
Mhm.
that's all Big Brother is. Survivor still has like the island
So
element to it. So, in terms of being backstabby and that sort of thing, I think Big Brother has Survivor beaten that. But I could be wrong. I don't really watch very much Big Brother.
I
Neither do I.
only watched one episode, but I don't know. Like you can be the biggest fan, like Survivor, but you can't be the best Survivor player.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but
Culture
like sort of
counts.
quote unquote ethically, right?
Oh yeah,
So sort of quote unquote morally, I would
Yeah.
think that a Big
What
Brother fan
draws you
would,
to Big Brother? Yeah.
yeah, a Big Brother fan might be less, yeah, might be less inclined to be absolutely truthful
for sure.
than say like a Survivor fan. I don't know if I have the fandoms, my understanding of the fandoms are incorrect, but that's the impression that I get.
I would never
Great
say
game though,
so.
great game. Social
I like the
deduction.
game. I like the game. Yeah.
I like
And
this
it's
game.
new in it because they actually have to interact with each other, as so
Yeah,
compared to previous journey tests where they did it. Most of
separately.
them were like individual deductions because they were still sort of deductions. Like you had to figure out what your journey mates were going to choose, right?
Yeah.
But this time there is that interactive uh, part of it where you're actually trying to deduce while you're talking to each other. Right?
And there's risk.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
There is risk. That's something that was lacking in a couple of the journeys in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And there is you lose your vote if you don't play properly. Not you just straight up lose your vote,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Um but speaking of the journey, one of my highs, if that's okay, is Tevin
Oh
and
yeah,
Mm.
Tevin.
his
Yes.
like the way they opened the show. Like
Mm-hmm. His VO.
the
He had the opening voiceover.
yeah, the opening like model. He got the Carolyn spot.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that Carolyn was my favorite way to open like a season.
Mm-hmm.
Um and if we're looking at new era, sure, definitely Carolyn is my favorite way that they opened a season, and this would be second.
Mm.
I really like Tevin. He's not my
Mm-hmm.
canonical winner pick. Not my canonical winner pick. Um, but like I just really like his character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's very. He has a lot of good creative ideas. I mean, he's an actor, so he ought to. He even busted out Shakespeare at one point.
Yeah, he
Uh,
did.
yeah. All right. But yeah, I like that, and I actually have him noted. I noted some of his quotes. Let me see if I could find it or if I had deleted it. Uh, the one about the the survivor player in me is a bloomin or something. But the something something else in me is a glue is a what? I forget. I forget.
I can't.
And
Yeah, I
yeah,
know the quote you're talking about. It was really cool.
yeah,
The distinction between the fan and the player,
yeah,
Oh.
and I know that that's something that that means a lot to you, Joel,
yeah.
because so like a common theme in our discussions in this podcast is the distinction between the fan and the player, the
Exactly.
distinction between the fan of the show and the fan of the game.
Fan of the game.
So yeah, there's a distinction between the fan of the show and the fan of the game. We see that in somebody like Zach, but then another distinction that's being pointed out by Tevin here is that there's a difference between um a fan of Survivor and a player of
Hmm.
Survivor.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a subtle difference in the two distinctions, but yeah, is it production's way of saying that if you can't hack it, don't?
I
Hmm,
guess so.
A
maybe
subtle way of saying, if you're a fan of the show, you might not necessarily be
the best
a
player.
player in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did notice like at the very least one other uh castaway in the current batch that I feel is there because she's a fan of the show and she's in it because she just wants to experience Survivor. And that is Liz, if I'm correct. The one who admitted that she owns four companies and then sold
Ooh,
two of them. And then later on, told everybody that she's allergic to coconuts and a lot of other stuff.
McDonald's.
Like, how the heck do you think you'll be able to perform well in Survivor when in the first social interaction you tell people that you're made of money,
Yep.
and later on you have actually little to no way of actually getting nutrients. So how and yeah, she's not like the buffest of all
Yep.
castaways in this batch. So how would she be able to do it? Right. So I feel that she's coming from that side of the fence where she's a fan of the show, wanted to experience the show, so she auditioned. And yeah. But
I don't know if what's it.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
go
go
ahead, go
ahead.
ahead.
Ooh.
No, I
I
was
was
just
just
gonna
gonna
say
say like,
that's like in the other side of the
Yes.
fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm, I'm wondering like if that was responsible on the part of Survivor casting to cast somebody that's allergic to everything,
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I don't know.
It's like now we're asking
right? Like
ourselves.
we found it kind of questionable, or we found it kind of not that great when they cast Hai, who was like a vegetarian
Mm.
or a vegan,
Mhm.
and we were like, can't eat any anything without compromising something that he holds dear, like.
Hmm.
But this feels like it's taking it to the next sort of level, and it feels kind of irresponsible.
A little, yeah, irresponsible. I did get the feeling. I don't know why, but leading up to this episode one, I had the feeling that production was angling for castaways who were very competitive, or at least wanted to compete. And then you have
Mhm.
Jelinski. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have you have they wanted to get people who were very competitive and wanted the challenge. So I'm guessing that's where that might be coming from.
Maybe.
Wanted the challenge. I don't know. I can't really say. Not unless like Jeff listens to our podcast and comments on our podcast or whatever. But yeah, uh, yeah, Liz,
Wow.
that's on the other side of the fence. But yeah, it's weird. Um. Oh, but for me, I like
Speaking
the fact
speak
that
oh
yeah, I like the fact that the tribe names are pretty Pinoyish.
Oh yeah.
Right? You got
Siga.
yeah,
Siga.
Yanu,
Siga.
Yanu, and then you've got Siga, who are not Siga at all, and then Nami, which is I mean in Hiligaynon, Hiligaynon, Namit is delicious, right? So
Oh, I
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it's
you got
because of how one contestant said, "Who's gonna lose? Nami."
that's not Pinoy, man. That's not
Oh, no.
Pinoy.
Oh well, uwi na mi, pare. Uwi na.
Yeah,
Right.
Tulog na mi.
So
Tulog
yeah.
na mi.
yeah, yeah.
I like it.
What
Yeah,
else? I really like this cast, by the way.
actually,
Mm.
Like,
they're likable. They're,
previous seasons had standout individuals. I think what I like about this season is um they're when you put them all together, they they're interesting.
Mm.
Um I don't know how else to describe it other than like you don't have somebody like Jam Jam or Carolyn like instantly pop, and you have them for the rest of the game as being the ones that are like absolutely front and center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With this cast, it feels more like an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Like Tevin came out strong,
Yeah.
yes, but
His personality came out. Because I mean, that's his personality. He's the closest
yeah,
thing that we've got to like an out there character.
yeah, the rest of them don't come across as being a bunch of weirdos, if that makes sense.
oh, yeah.
Not
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Jess considers herself a weirdo.
yeah.
Jelinsky for me is touched.
Mm.
Uh, uh, but yeah, Jess considers herself a weirdo. But for the life of me, I'm okay with her. Right? I
Hmm.
hope she gets over the fact that she has ADHD, and apparently I forget what pills she was allowed to bring, but she did not bring her ADHD
Mm.
medication. So I don't know how that's gonna affect her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mental health medevac, like Survivor, like Australian Survivor.
Yeah.
Oh no, that wasn't a medevac. That was a
No,
mental health quit.
that
But
was a quip.
is is this is this going to be a mental health medevac? I
We'll
think I know
see.
how to describe it. Right? I think I know. I think I know how to put into words why I like this cast.
Okay.
Mm.
Survivor talks about normal people from everyday life coming onto an island. In the past, it didn't feel like they were normal people from everyday
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
life. This cast does.
Mm. True.
Like to me, this
True.
cast feels the most naturalistic cast, while at the same time being kind of eclectic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like they aren't they don't feel over the top, not yet.
Yeah. Maybe not yet.
But like in
But
previous seasons, you felt the over the topness pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. So this is yeah, nobody immediately stands out. The closest, like with what we've been saying, is has been Tevin.
yeah,
But
Tevin.
Yeah.
nobody immediately stands out. So everyone just maybe it's a yeah, because even in the first episode of previous seasons in the new era, we already had standouts.
Oh yeah.
Right. This
Yeah.
one, they're all pretty chill, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
You know, under the radar.
The way Jeff described it though, like this season is supposed to be a lot more backstabby and a lot more
Mm.
like the
Oh.
gameplay is going to be a lot more cutthroat now.
Oh shit.
Speaking of
That's
cutting
how he
throats,
described it.
oh, that adds now to the theory. Did you because Jem actually has a winner quote. She said, "I'm so ready to cut everybody else's throat. Get to the other side, and then guess who's your sole survivor? Me." Right? That is a winner quote,
Mm.
if there ever was one for
Is
this
she your
season.
canonical winner pick?
No, she's not. But yeah, I mean, if you're saying that Jeff has been quoted, saying that this season is cutthroat, and then she's got
Ah.
cutting throats in her quote in the opening montage, right? Let the conspiracy winner edit theorists
Indeed.
do what they do, right?
Ah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That sounds like the sort of thing that Survivor would do.
Right?
That
They
sounds like the
put it
sort
in
of thing.
there. It's like a very. It was towards the end of the first segment, first part of the episode. Pretty long
Yeah.
episode, by the way. 2 hour. It was a 2 hour premiere again, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we didn't get the immunity challenge until the 57th minute
Mm.
of the episode. A lot of stuff, and I like it. I like the fact that we got a lot of other stuff. Right? We
Yeah.
get yeah, we get Venus saying, "How dare you point fingers at me?" Sure, you're correct, but like, how dare you assume correctly that I was being sneaky? Right? Yeah.
I forgot which podcast pointed this out. but it was quite astute. Um, uh, when Venus was called Parvati 2.0, right?
Oh,
You know,
Parvati
we're
Light.
always, yeah, or whatever it was. The podcast, the person in the podcast said that it's impossible for that to happen because if she were Parvati Light, or if she were Parvati, you wouldn't know that she was,
Mm.
because that's how Parvati plays the game.
Hmm.
Like, it's only after you're being voted out that you realize that you were stung by the Black Widow. You know, like,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess they figured she's pretty, she's sociable, and she's
yeah.
sneaky. Parvati, right?
Maybe.
Was it on the No Buffs episode where, like, one of the people that wrote in said, "Is it like we're in the '90s NBA and we're all just looking for the next Michael Jordan?"
Well, a lot of times that is what's being done in Survivor fan
Yeah.
circles, right?
Next Parvati.
Who's the next Parvati? Who's the new
Next Boston
Colby?
Rob.
Who's the next Boston Rob? Right?
Yeah,
Who's the next
Yeah.
Russell Hantz?
but it feels
Who's the
like the
next
next Parv.
Jelinski?
It feels like the
Zelensky.
next Parv is the most enduring out of all of these.
Yeah.
Who's the next, right? So it's like, are we just in like the '90s NBA? We're looking for the next Michael Jordan.
I guess so, but if this is the 90s when he like retired the first time, he maybe we are because this is literally the new era.
Hmm.
Right?
So we're saying
Yeah.
that Parv is going to come back and be completely lackluster.
Please don't come back.
No, that was after the second time that he, yeah, when he, well, maybe Parv first starts becoming an executive producer of Survivor, and then gives up her executive producer position to become part of the show again. Just like how, Michael Jordan became an owner of the Wizards, gave up his ownership of the Wizards to become a player,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still played 82 games, by the way, not like a
Yep.
certain guy who just got 40,000 points, who
Mm.
has played less seasons with 82 games.
Because it's a
And
competition problem. So the
yeah,
late dad of Michael Jordan says.
yeah. So yeah, but we're digressing. We're becoming
Yeah,
Titos
we
again.
digress.
Uh,
Yes.
going back to
Yes, we are.
Survivor. Yes, going back to Survivor. What do you guys think about the new mechanics of the Beware advantage this time?
It was.
I loved it.
Mm.
Doesn't feel
Why
too
so?
loose. Yeah, how do you like it, Joe? I want to hear your thoughts too.
Because one of the things that is because it broke one of those taboo, like, Survivor things in wanting to throw a challenge,
Mm.
because you don't get a vote until your tribe loses a challenge. So there's an incentive for you to throw the challenge,
Oh,
So you
and
think
that's
that,
like,
like, what's her name? Was that Tiffany? You think Tiffany threw that challenge?
no, 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 she didn't. But, like, the idea is out there in the universe now that, like, or no, that I guess sacred cow has been slaughtered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's something within the mechanics of the game that incentivizes one person to throw a challenge.
Yeah.
I find that so cool.
I guess that's why Jeff said this was a little bit more cutthroat, or this was a
Yeah.
cutthroat, but meaning like the gloves are off. You can do almost anything. Right? They're gonna
Yeah.
allow almost anything.
It's like, what's it? It's it's like it's like it's a social deduction game, right? You're
Hmm.
supposed to work together, but sometimes some characters have like a secret mission that involves getting the team to fail, and that's always interesting. And so including that as part of the game mechanics of Survivor, and explicitly saying that, like, you don't get your vote until you lose. Your vote is your life. So,
Hmm.
it was really cool.
yeah,
Oh, and I like the fact that it was done in like this one episode. We had no stupid cliffhangers.
Yeah. Well, then again, the fact that they lost the immunity challenge, like
It helped.
right away, it helped. Because imagine if they went on a winning run, they wouldn't have you wouldn't have known. I mean, Tiffany would have been on the edge of her seat, metaphorically,
Yeah.
right? Because she wouldn't have had a vote, and then they'd still have Jadinsky around.
And I like that it ended with a
Yeah.
just like a straightforward idol.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nothing weird.
Mhm.
Just an old school, honest to goodness immunity idol. Not like an extra vote that can only be used when blah 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 blah. Like, some of those weird advantages that they've had in the
Oh
past.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
What
yeah.
about you, Marts?
For me, it's pretty better now. Like as Chow highlighted for the beware advantage. Sorry. Um, but I want to see how I'm more into the thinking that I like more this the one we mentioned earlier, the one with the cards, like those three people from the three tribes. I really like that. It was pretty fun to do. Had it been not a Jelinski, it would have been better though.
Or had, say, for example, Devin been the one to get the skull, that
Oh,
would
that
have
would
been
have
more
been
interesting.
fun to
Oh
see.
yeah, that would
That
have
would
been
have been
great.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the what's it? I
The
like the
beware
beware
advantage.
advantage. You know. Hmm.
And I mean, it's Tiffany's. I'm not sure if I'm getting the name right. Tiffany is an artist. Pretty cool that she was able to deduce that the code, right?
Yeah,
Because because it's because of her creative thinking. So she was able to
yeah.
deduce the like, oh, this has to be the and all of that.
I don't know. Maybe it
She's a
was
code breaker.
just maybe it was just because it was something that interested me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know when I was looking at or when I was watching a video and they were talking about the Savvy challenge. There was that dude in the comments that was like, "Oh yeah, this wasn't very hard. It's a classic like word search puzzle where the letters that aren't encircled come up with like a secret, message or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's something that their teacher or whatever gave them as a kid as one of those lessons in lateral thinking, blah blah blah, and it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of stuck with them. And when they saw that puzzle, they were like, "Oh yeah, I can solve this in minutes flat because I know how it works and how the mechanics of that work." I'm gonna be that guy when it comes to figuring out the word puzzle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a lot of little tricks that can get you to unlocking a code.
Mm-hmm.
3-letter words are usually the or and.
Yeah.
If you see a symbol at the end of a 3-letter word that appears a lot more than other symbols, then you're pretty sure that it's the,
Mm-hmm.
because E is the most commonly used word in written English.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a single like character that's either A or I, right? If you see two, that's either it, two,
Mm-hmm.
so it isn't that hard.
Mm.
It isn't that hard, but under pressure,
Yeah,
good lord, that
that's
was
a
amazing.
different thing. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was pretty cool.
and to be able to do it quickly, um, without being seen doing it by the rest of the tribe, like I think that's the impressive part. To be
Mm.
able to do, to be able to pull that off in that way.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, one of my highs or one of the characters that I've liked from this episode, only because of something else totally not correlated to Survivor. I like Banu. The guy who recently got his citizenship.
Yep.
Number one, because he's very resourceful. That's the survivor reason. The other reason is because he looks a lot like Flulaborg,
Oh yeah, he does. He
Oh,
right?
does. He
wow.
does.
Even the way that he expresses himself is a lot like Flulaborg. So I was like, this guy is like Flulaborg's Indian cousin.
Wow. Go pal. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Venom.
I know that Martin. I'm guessing that he's Martin's canonical winner pick because his name is Gopa.
Is he Gopal?
It's
Why why
Gopal.
why why do I know him as Banu?
His name
His
is
last
Banu
name is
Gopal.
Gopal.
Gopal
Oh,
is
okay,
his
there you go.
family name or surname. Yeah.
For
Okay.
those who don't have for context, like the three of us know somebody from our school named Gopal. Though his real name's not really Gopal.
Yeah. Indian guy.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, and and, and
Yeah.
and and Banu also reminds me of who was it from season 42? Who also had
Oh,
recently gotten his citizenship.
Yeah, the guy from Sri
Uh
Lanka.
Sri
the
Lanka,
guy
right?
with the
Lanka.
goats on AstroTurf.
AstroTurf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was his name? Oh yeah.
God, I forgot. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
loved
him.
watching the
So
guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
He only learned English too by watching Survivor,
by
right?
watching Survivor.
Mm.
Similar
It
to
was pretty
Gopal.
cool. I mean, it's pretty cool that they've got these guys, right? And they are, especially this one, Banu is like he's bound to become a provider because of all of
Oh yeah.
his knowledge of how to live with what's around. Right.
From 41, Nasir.
Oh, Nasir, yeah.
41. See
Yeah,
here.
Nasir.
Okay.
Yeah, Nasir.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Actually, Banu is my wife's favorite character.
Mm.
Oh,
Favorite player from well so far,
so
right?
Hmm.
far.
Because
Yeah.
they got a lot of um their tribe got a bit more screen time because of being on tribal or being in tribal. But yeah, he of that at least of that tribe. Um yeah, he's my wife's favorite like character or cast away.
Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
quite know whether they're characters or castaways. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
anyway,
the
since we're on the topic of favorite castaways or characters, who is your favorite castaway? Martin, let's start with you.
Right now is our fellow actor Tevin.
Oh,
He's some
why
guy
so?
you wanna because he's an actor.
Very straightforward. Very straightforward reason. What about you, Joe? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Who is the castaway you like the most so far?
so far, um, I'm and this is gonna be obvious when you think about it. Hunter, the chemistry
Mm.
teacher.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm. Why
it's
so?
like he's a camp counselor, but I hate
Uh-huh.
the songs. Like, yeah, yes,
Okay.
God, that he's like a pretty like stand up guy, just straightforward. Like I bet he's a great teacher. He's I don't
Hmm.
I bet he's an okay teacher in the classroom, but he's well loved in the faculty room.
Mm. I get it. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? That's how it feels. Um, and that was my teacher persona. I didn't care if the kids liked me or not. I just
Mm.
was like really happy in the faculty room. So he reminds me of me in a way. Although he's not my canonical winner pick.
Mm. Okay. All right. For me, oh yeah, the character that I like the most right now. Yeah, I'm actually leaning towards when it comes to liking. I'm leaning also more towards Devin. He so far is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily just because he's an actor like us, no. But yeah, and not because he busted out some Shakespeare. But yeah, I like the way that he's playing the game. Yeah. Do we go ahead and say our canonical winner pick now?
Actually, I
Whilst
forgot.
we're
Yeah.
still in our highs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
I'll
let's
go.
start with Zhao first for canonical winner picks.
Jess Chung.
Ooh. Is
Very
it only because of the
mysterious.
Asian connection, or is there something
Yes.
else?
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Okay. All right.
and also like I had a feeling that Martin would probably go for Banu, which
Mhm.
I'm now I'm like not sure, but yeah, I was like, who's going to be the one that I'm pretty sure nobody else on the council is going to pick?
But when you
Who's
pick,
like who's quite Asian? All right, Jess Strong, software engineer as well. So you
Mm.
know,
didn't you pick somebody last season that got out earlier? That was the season before that, similar to Jess.
yeah. Who is it? I can't remember. I can't
Yeah,
remember her name.
again with the Asian
Another one of
connection.
the Asians. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
I'm still I'm still hoping for another Erica, right?
Yeah.
actually, that we're all hoping
Well, we
for
have a
that.
Canadian this time again. We've got Venus.
Yeah.
The new Parvati.
Parvati Light.
Helen was
Helen.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one for the previous season. What about okay? What about you, Marts? Who's your canonical winner pick this season?
Yeah, for me, I gotta pick Tevin. It's very fun and entertaining. So my pick might be like had I picked Cody in a previous season, but I chose
Mm.
Jesse. But this time I'm picking the Cody and Tevin.
Mhm. Okay. Well, for me, I'm going with my Gabler census
Okay.
this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with the eye test. I didn't see any of the promotional videos, but I just saw during that uh initial sequence, right? And I someone stood out to me right away,
Mm-hmm.
and it was none other than Soda. Soda for me
Oh,
is my
Oh.
canonical winner pick, and it's weird. It's weird that I got winner vibes from her. Yeah, I'm doing a vibes, and here's the thing: she's the only one who got a word in during the marooning, right?
Yeah.
She's the only one who was able to have a sentence come out. Everyone, the other one who interacted with Jeff during the marooning was Ben, who when Jeff asked who barfed, like he
Mm.
raised his hand, but Soda's the only one who said a word, and yeah, I'm finding it weird that I'm liking Soda. So she's the other side of the coin from your Hunter, the guy that you like, Joe,
Mm-hmm.
because she's like the camp counselor who likes the songs, right? And I'm finding it weird and interesting why I'm vibing with Soda, but I did not like Mary Ann, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
was
Huh.
I was very vehemently like Mary Ann's too annoying to me, but Soda for some reason, I'm getting a good vibe from her. Right, that's like the phrase now. I'm getting a good vibe, right?
Yeah.
Among
Vibes.
survivors. Yeah. So yeah, so that's she's my canonical winner pick.
Oh.
Marianne 2.0. This early.
I like that. It seems like your Sodar is working.
All I know is that of the
Okay.
three of us of the three of us, I'm probably the most screwed.
Yeah, because your pick is
No,
not
but
sleeping, Chow. Literally,
but that would be
literally.
that would be such a cool turnaround,
Yeah.
right? If she
Yeah.
actually finds a way to get some sleep, and we find out that she's this cutthroat,
Oh,
really strategic, social ADHD woman, right?
Yeah.
and not people will not be sleeping on her anytime soon when she
Mhm.
does that 180.
I
Hey.
think that we need to change Martin from the man with the thoughts to Mr. Puns.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other highs for you guys?
maybe just
Uh,
one last one for me.
Mhm.
We talked about Hunter not being a Swifty, and then editors put it to the next guy who's actually a
Mm.
Swifty in
Yeah,
Charlie.
Charles.
I like
Charlie.
that.
Yeah.
I like that transition to that
Mhm.
video. The-
yeah.
he's giving me like liar, liar Jim Carrey vibes with that one scene when he dropped that book there and then he was looking at the camera.
Oh,
That's pretty good. And
yeah.
Charlie looks like Andrew Garfield going with
Garfield.
like
Look at
whether it was 2 seasons ago they called Carson uh
What's his
Tom
name?
Mr.
Holland.
Spidey.
Tom Holland. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have Andrew Garfield.
Speaking of lookalikes, Tevin looks like RJ Barrett from the Toronto Raptors. Uh,
Mm.
I don't know if anyone pointed it out in No Buffs.
I keep forgetting he's now in Toronto.
Yeah, he's back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other highs, Joe?
Uh this 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 episode it's like really good,
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. The episode,
you know?
the pacing of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the immunity challenge didn't come in until the 57th minute of a total runtime of about 1 hour and 25. Uh, yeah.
And we're getting Jeff being a little bit more sassy. We're getting more sassy Jeff.
Hmm.
You know, like in Tribal,
Oh
he's
gosh,
actually, you know, he's actually ripping people a new one.
yeah.
And being like even
People or just one guy?
Jess, he was also like to Jess, like, are you
Oh,
sure you can do this? Like,
mm,
you know, you're not getting any sleep. What if you like can't, you know, fix that? Do you
hmm,
think you can still win? Like, you know, that's
yeah.
basic in this game. And like also with Jelinski, the same thing. Like, really? You think you can do that? Like this is basic in this game. You know, like we're getting we're getting that kind of
I
Jeff a
like
little
it.
bit more. He's asking more direct questions.
Hmm.
Like, so you mean to say that you're thinking of voting out Jelinski tonight, or whatever it was that he said? Because he said something similar to that to one of the other cast. Like, straight up said, you're voting for him. You know, and they have to find a creative way to talk around it. So yeah, tribal council set looks amazing. It's
Hmm.
absolutely not Fijian at all, um,
Hmm.
but it's a nice set. Uh, you know, I'm curious to see if the sanctuary where good things happen uh, doesn't look as good this season because they blew all the budget on tribal. Like, because again, Jeff said in like one of his podcasts from last season or 2 seasons ago, the reason one of the reasons that they throw people into the sanctuary is so that they can reuse the set. That way they have more budget to build out tribal a little bit more.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know, this tribal seems quite elaborate. So if he's saying that they took budget from the sanctuary and put it to tribal, there should be like this inverse correlation. There should be this inverse relationship between like the quality of tribal and the quality of the quality of the
Oh,
sanctuary.
sanctuary.
Yeah, where like the nicer the tribal set, the worse the sanctuary set looks. But we'll see.
We'll
Maybe
see.
they got a little bit of extra money. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Denny's sponsored them.
Yeah, or Outback.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. They haven't gone to where good things happen yet.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't gone there in a while. Well, not a lot of good things have happened. Let me rephrase. Not a lot of good things have happened there in a while. Yeah. Any other? So I guess that's it for the highs. Let's go over to the lows.
Um, Jelinski's gameplay. Can we just say that?
You are
Yeah.
a nice person.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And even though his gameplay was the low for the episode, it still led to like a great episode, you know?
It made it funny, but yeah, it was a little frustrating to me. And how he tried to make it seem as if what he was doing was all right,
Mm,
right? Uh, and Jeff called him out on it,
yeah.
right? He said, "You know what, Jeff? You and I were the same kind of guy where we never want to quit." And then Jeff was like, "Kind of hard to say that when you just quit." So yeah,
Yeah.
it that's why I say he's touched. He seems to
Mm.
have this thinking like, I'm gonna be legendary. I'm gonna be legendary. I'm gonna be legendary. And then he puts himself out there to do sweat. Quits
Yeah, I
after an
found it
hour
really funny. I found it really funny, like in his confessional after he gets voted
after the
out.
votes. Yeah,
Yeah. He said like that was a major blindside. He was
yeah. I'm
like,
like,
I found that hilarious.
Uh,
so he really didn't think that he was on the chopping block. He
Yeah.
really had no idea.
he doesn't know what several means.
Yeah, and then he's like, as a guy from Vegas, you got to know when to fold and when to or whatever. But I
Thankfully,
mean, Vegas, you should know how to bluff too, right?
no, no. If he was the poker player, but he's not. He just watches the slot machines. So I did not
he's
expect him to be that smart. Like that guy who also got eliminated like the first episode in Cagayan for being a poker player.
but he's a slot machine salesperson, dude. You
Yeah,
know
he's a
how
salesperson.
Uh,
salespeople can be.
Yeah, yeah. He
I'm
had he
pretty
had
sure he sold
tips.
Look
several
at
of those
Justine.
machines.
Look at Justine. Salespeople.
Yeah, Justine got eliminated because she was outed as as a salesperson.
Uh,
Right?
we were
Maybe
intimidated by
that's
him
why
being
he
this.
was a threat. He was a
Yeah,
threat because he was a salesperson.
Oh
he
man.
didn't. They didn't want to buy what he was selling.
Yeah. At least he gave us some like nice quotes. Jelinsky is the monster. Ah, he's a
Yeah.
monster. Jelinsky is the monster. I'm
That
not
was
deceptful. Right? It's really cool.
He is the
God
monster.
when he said that, dude. When you know when he said like Jeff says that the monster, I'm the monster. Like his quotes, right? His quotes in confessional would have been really cool if he actually like backed them up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like in confessional, the stuff he says, awesome. Like I am legendary. Like yeah, if he had a nice deep run and had an amazing social game, we look back on that like I am legendary or Jelinski is legendary or whatever, and be like, yeah, yeah, and like if he had like amazing moves in the game and stuff, we'd look back to his I am the monster thing, and
Mhm.
like we'd we'd be like, yeah, he is the monster. He is the monster that Jeff was talking about. But no, no, he's not.
And if he had only made merge and he had like what's his face, Tevin and Maria on his side because he gave them extra votes, like right,
Uh,
he would have been like legendary.
Yeah,
But he
like
didn't even make it past the first episode.
that's
and
how legendary
again,
he is.
again, this is a testament to Survivor's storytelling because we were able to get those we were able to have a moment of catharsis when Jelinski got voted out,
Hmm, true,
right?
true.
Like, and it wasn't a catharsis in the sort of tragedy kind of way, but a catharsis in like yeah, one of those sorts of feeling.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the guy even he put up a face when he told Jeff that, right? When he told Jeff
Yeah.
that you and I were the same kind of guy, we never want to quit on anything, and then Jeff calls him out, and then
Quit.
he quits on saying that he doesn't quit, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah, not to pile on but I
Zelensky
think that he's got a
train.
lot of confidence based on what I saw on X on Twitter. He's got a lot of
Yeah.
confidence, so
I wouldn't mind him seeing coming back on like a returning season.
as the legendary,
Yeah.
Zelensky,
The legends.
who now has
Finally.
made it a practice to talk about himself in the third person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zelensky has arrived. Oh
At
my
first, I
Yeah.
god.
was like, I was entertained by his voice, and he's got this really booming voice, booming
Yeah.
low voice. But yeah,
Well, he,
any
he's
other
he
lows?
is his voice.
His voice is low.
That's
His
a
voice
low.
is
Well,
quite
his
low.
voice is low. His voice is low. Yeah. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh, Zelensky.
It's
I
not really. You know,
Not really. I
like
mean, a lot of the
Not.
episode. Yeah, like what you said, Joe. The episode was really good.
yeah, and most people seem to be setting themselves up for really good games, except maybe like Jess. You know,
Mhm.
Maybe also Liz a bit.
Yeah, Liz,
yeah,
with her admission of being rich.
Damn it,
yeah,
kids.
but yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this Ben and Charlie thing is gonna, form out in Sega.
Ben
Hmm.
and Charlie.
Gotta talk about that a bit. Like the
The what
low
did they
there
call it?
is,
The Dumb and Dumber Alliance.
alliance. Like
Really, a lot of really good like alliance names in this episode. Huh?
Hmm. And then what's it? The Andy Griffith Alliance or something?
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
Andy
Andy
Griffith
Griffith.
Alliance,
I like
Charlie's
that most of it.
Angels.
Yeah,
Oh,
Charlie's
that was
Angels.
fun. That was fun. I love that name. Like when they
Yeah.
mentioned
You know,
that.
it beats like the Taku Four or whatever they were called, and
The
um,
Three Musket. Was it the Three Musketeers?
Yeah.
Were they the Three Musketeers or the three?
I don't know. That's what they called themselves,
Or
but
the Three
like
Stooges, I think.
Three
yeah, the Three
Stooges. Yeah.
Stooges,
Three
the Three
Stooges. Yeah,
Stooges.
I remember they said Three Stooges. I love that. Like they said it
Yeah,
right.
but that's not what they were called, right? Or no,
Yeah.
that's what they tried to call themselves, but
Mhm.
like the people on the internet just ended up calling them the what was the tribe name? The Tika Three. We just ended up calling
Tika
them the
three.
Tika
Yeah,
Three.
Tika three.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
because
man.
they weren't stooges. It felt harsh calling them stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Stooges we know, like when we were like wrestling fans, are Patterson and Briscoe. Yeah.
Oh well,
Oh, here's a
I know actual Three Stooges.
Oh,
Anyway,
you mean the? Oh yeah,
yeah,
Howard
the
and
actual
Fine.
three.
Howard.
Huh?
Hmm.
Their last names, Mo Howard and
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, I don't know if this is a low.
uh,
Um, and people on like the podcasts and stuff praised it, but I'm not 100% sold on the 4:3 aspect ratio thing that they did as a gag
I don't
after
even
they talked
Where?
know
about
what
the
that
Andy
means.
Griffith Alliance.
I don't even.
Like we're the Andy Griffith Alliance, and then like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
the
Oh,
music for the
it.
Andy Griffith show starts playing, it
Mhm.
goes into the 4:3 aspect ratio, and you start blurring, so it looks like it's coming out of a CRT. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think that might have taken me out of it a little too much. Yeah, just
Yeah.
it
They're
it
playing
it
a little too much.
it landed with yeah, it landed well with like a lot of the audience, but it just didn't quite land for
Mm.
me. So I don't know why. Because I am a big fan of like that 80s, 90s, 70s sitcom,
Mm.
right? Like I'm a big fan of that sort of format, but it just didn't land for me.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty much raised by
I'm
Sam Malone.
I didn't really have any thoughts of what happened. It's okay. It's their alliance, I guess. Because it stands out because none of like you didn't get like a Charlie's Angels montage all of a sudden, right? Where they said that they
Yeah,
were the Charlie's Angels, or not even a soundbite of Charlie's Angels. No,
yeah,
that didn't come up, right? Anything. Dumb and Dumber, you didn't have like a stinger of Dumb and Dumber coming out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it stood out as something like, okay, why that?
Hmm.
I understand. I understand that. Any other lows?
None for me, I guess.
Not really.
I think I'm good.
Ooh.
The water level in the jars by the end of the
Of
That's
sweat.
really low.
of sweat after
Oh
they threw
gosh.
the sand.
Oh gosh. Yeah. That was like, I don't know. Ah, reminding me once again of the legendary Jelinski. Anyway, from reminders we go to looking into the future. We start with our predictions, starting with whose line is it actually? Episode 2, the title is Scorpio Energy. Who do you got?
Soda.
That's got to be somebody like Kenzie, right? Like Kenzie or Liz.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can get Kenzie, yeah. Not so much Liz. Soda, you say it's soda, Marts.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm gonna say it's Kenzie.
Kenzie. I can get Kenzie. Yeah. I'm actually gravitating towards Ben because he's the one who said that he's an Aries during the
Yeah, that's true.
during that
Notice
first
that.
social thing. Anyway, yeah. I don't know who he would be talking about. My guess is Maria. I don't know. Just a just an out of the blue guess. Uh, You're giving a very Scorpio energy. Yeah.
Um,
Not unless like if we go through the birthdays of all of the castaways, we'll probably figure out on the wiki.
and
The wiki will have that, right?
Joel, you're saying it's Ben?
The ban about Maria, but that's like I don't know. Maybe also
I
because
don't.
I maybe because she gives Scorpio energy vibe to me. I don't know. I don't even know
Martin,
what
it's
Scorpio energy
soda.
would be.
Yeah,
So yeah, for
soda.
Martin it's soda.
Aren't like Scorpios are supposed to be like really intense or something?
Oh. Oh yeah, so yeah, Maria kind of fits. If it's Ben who's
Hmm.
saying.
Yeah. But Martin, you're saying it's soda?
Soda. Yeah, soda.
All right.
All right.
And
Any
yeah, I'm
other
saying it's
yeah, you're
Quan.
saying
Yeah, I'm saying that it is Kenzie.
Genzi. Yeah, she
Yeah.
gives me like the vibe of someone who looks towards the stars as
Yep. All right. So that's whose line.
well. Okay.
Um,
Let's go ahead to other predictions.
but I
Marts.
didn't watch the
Oh.
next time on. I didn't watch the next time on, so
Actually,
I really don't
Mm.
have anything.
Mm.
if I did, it just went past through me, but I'm thinking it's still gonna be Yano. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you think that Yano's gonna go back to tribal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did watch the next time on Survivor, and there was a sequence. I don't know if it was for the reward challenge or for the immunity challenge, where Banu was shouting at Jess.
Oh,
Yeah, because they had to create
Ooh.
oh,
like those arc things where they form a word,
Yeah.
okay.
and then the arc falls, and then right after that, Banu's like Jess. Yeah,
I'm gonna say that because she's my canonical winner pick. I'm going to say that that's a red herring.
Oh.
that's a red
But
herring.
it's
All
weird
right.
because if you notice in the immunity challenge in this episode, Banu was trying to hold this scream at the two people doing the puzzles, and one of them was Jess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other was Jelinsky.
Hmm?
The other was Jelinski, but Jess was contributing.
Yeah,
Jess was figuring the puzzle out. Jelinski was just like
the slow
flipping
guy.
pieces
Yeah,
around.
I think this is just a
Even
continuation
during the
of
puzzle, he quit. My God,
right. It's okay. The worst is over,
the
Joel.
worst is over. Well, the
Or so
worst with
we think.
Jelinsky is
Or
over,
so
Yeah.
right?
we think.
What is it with the past two seasons where the first boot is like someone? Yeah.
Hey, this is better than the last first boot, okay? I like this Zelensky. He at least entertains us. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's just Banu continuing his backseat coaching from this
Mm.
But
episode to
Kenzie
the
also did some backseat. Like Kenzie was the one who actually like shouted at
oh,
Jelinsky.
okay, that's good.
Yeah,
So yeah,
to trying to tell him which piece to give to. He was giving pieces to Jess to figure out the puzzle.
uh,
Right? Yeah.
but yeah, that's it. That's
So
all.
yeah, my prediction, my other prediction is unfortunately Joe, and we already said it earlier. We might see either a medical evacuation or a quit from Jess.
Ooh,
I think that it's gonna be a little too hard for her. I feel for
Mm.
her. I feel for her.
Yeah.
I mean, on social media, she seems very positive.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the tribe I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that uh Yanu is stronger without Jelinski, and
oh,
so they don't fall
yeah.
into what happened with Lulu and Tika in the past.
Hmm.
So they're not gonna lose successive immunity challenges and all of that. Like my prediction for the pre-merge is that there's going to be more like balance in who ends up going to
Mm.
tribal. We're not going to have a
Probably
tribe that
losing,
is always losing.
losing.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be
actually,
nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to survivors of the week. Starting with of course our castaway of the week. Who do you have, Joe?
Tevin.
Kevin. You too, Marts?
Tevin, of course.
Tevin? Yeah.
I was
Me
gonna joke
too. Tevin.
Jelinski, but I'm getting Tevin, obviously. Obviously, Tevin, guys, come
Tevin.
on.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a close second could be Jelinski because of how much fun he was, but like,
Jelinski.
but really Tevin was
Yeah.
the star of the show.
Hmm.
It was the Tevin show.
Star.
Yeah.
The
The
actor.
screen time that he got and what he did with the screen time that he got. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Goat of the week. Do I even have to ask?
Goat Linsky. The goat. The goat
The
Jelinski.
Goat.
goat,
No, he's
the
not the goat
greatest
of
of
the
all
week. He's the
time.
yeah. He's like the legend of the week.
The goat of goats.
Oh god.
Jelinski. Enough said. Oh my god, that dude.
Woo.
That dude. But yeah,
I
I
can
guess
I
it
can
would be
I can
nice to see
also
him back. It would be nice to see
I
him
would
back,
love to
and
see
then
him
he
back.
will have become a better person, a better player at the very least. Yeah. No, you were saying something. You were starting to say something.
I can also see a world where our goat of the week is Jess,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But,
Yeah.
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, if we exclude Jelinski as like the obvious
Yeah.
goat of the weekend,
Yeah.
like traditionally we have excluded the boot.
The what? Yeah.
Yeah, the boot for the week is the goat of the week. I think we'll make an exception for like this particular
Because he's
episode.
so legendary. He is so legendary. We had to make an exception.
Yeah. Um but like I can see a world where it's Jess,
Mm-hmm.
as yeah, because it was so sad where at tribal people weren't coming up to bat for her,
Mm-hmm.
right? The people weren't like, this particular tribal was it wasn't a very subtle tribal council, let's just say, because like a lot of tribals in the modern era have been extremely subtle, where people are pointing fingers and people are sort of defending each other. Um, this one wasn't very subtle at all, and nobody was coming to bat for Jess. Everybody was like, you know, basically saying it's going to be either of either of you, and we are not looking for a reason to keep Jess. We're looking for a reason to vote out Jelinski.
Zelensky. Yeah.
You know, it's a lot like an like an election, right?
The
Where you're
lesser of
not
two
voting
evils
for somebody, you're voting against
against
somebody.
somebody else.
Like,
Yeah.
that's that's what it felt like, and it kind of sucks. So I
Mhm.
can see that world where Jess is the goat of the week.
Yeah. I hope that she's able to do better next episode.
Yeah.
Purple of the week.
Ooh.
What did you miss?
I have no idea.
Jelinski's gameplay.
It's wow. It's
He is
goat
so
gameplay.
legendary. He had to get 2 awards.
Yeah, three.
Oh, well, 3 technically. We could also put him as the caster of the week. Yeah. Yeah. What about you,
Like
Mars? Do you have anything?
I'm sure
I
he
have
had
no
gameplay. I'm
idea,
sure he
man.
had good gameplay at some point. It's just
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, because he thought ahead to the merge. The thing is, he never got to it. But yeah,
yeah,
so he
Advanced
had a
Night
game
City.
plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like he misread the situation with Q,
Mhm.
but like that was solid. In an alternate universe, um, in an alternate universe, it would have his alliance of four would have stuck strong.
Mhm. But then again, he was already on the outs with Q from the get go after Sweat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he was someone probably that Q was like, if push comes to shove, I can throw him under the bus, right?
Yeah. So I mean, there. Let's just say that that's my purple of the week.
Right. You, Marts, do you have anything?
Not really on the purple.
All right. For me, my purple of the week is the marooning interview because
Oh yeah.
it throws the winner's edit theorists data out of whack. They did not get any marooning interview data this time. They
Yeah.
did not get the because it's usually three people, right?
Yeah.
That get
And
a question.
for the past 5 seasons or whatever, 6 seasons, whoever got the Matt chat ended up like one of the people in Matt chat ended up becoming and ended up winning
Yeah.
Mhm.
without fail. So yeah.
So that's purple of the week this week, and I think that and I have a feeling it's a conscious effort by production.
Yeah, I'm sure the editors thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, either that or nobody gave a very substantial answer.
I'm pretty sure they didn't.
All
Well,
right. Mhm.
Oh, no, there's nothing.
Okay. Any final notes, guys?
Oh,
I'm good.
so I'm looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
like it's gonna be a good one. Another banger season.
They keep on getting better and that's all that we can hope for. That the seasons, especially in the new era, keep getting better and better. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily with each episode, but as a whole. All right.
Mm.
So if that's it, okay, that's it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parcon,
I'm Jao.
Hi, Martin.
and we hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.